When you think of Coca-Cola, you think of happiness. Nike, inspiration, and Apple, innovation. These brands didn't just dominate markets, they redefined them. But what makes them so iconic? In this video, we'll explore the key marketing events that turned Coca-Cola, Nike, and Apple into global powerhouses, the revolutionary campaigns that changed the game, and the lessons businesses can learn from their journey. Let's dive into the stories behind these legendary brands. Marketing is no longer just about promoting a product, it's about creating a narrative that resonates with customers. Firstly, building brand identity. Marketing helps businesses stand out by showcasing their unique values, building trust, and fostering customer loyalty in competitive markets. Secondly, connecting emotionally. People don't just buy products, they buy feelings, values, and trust. And finally, driving growth and innovation. Strategic marketing drives growth by helping businesses adapt to changing customer needs and stay ahead with innovation. Coca-Cola, Nike, and Apple understood these principles and used them to launch products that didn't just sell but became cultural phenomena.
You ever wonder what this pocket's for? I've always wondered that. Well, now we know, because this is the new iPod Nano.
Let's begin with Coca-Cola, whose groundbreaking campaign redefined the art of emotional branding during one of the toughest times in history. The late 1920s and early 1930s were marked by the Great Depression, one of the darkest economic periods in history. Starting with the stock market crash of 1929, the Great Depression left millions unemployed and struggling to make ends meet. People drastically cut back on non-essential spending, including indulgences like soda, which was considered a luxury. Coca-Cola, though a recognized name, was struggling to retain its consumer base. The brand was seen as just another soft drink, and it faced increasing competition from local soda makers. For Coca-Cola to survive this economic downturn, it needed to become more than just a beverage. It needed to position itself as an affordable comfort during a time of widespread hardship. In 1929, Coca-Cola launched the groundbreaking "The Pause That Refreshes" campaign. The timing couldn't have been better. Amidst the economic gloom, the campaign offered something people desperately needed: a small, affordable escape. The campaign encouraged people to take a break or a pause and enjoy a moment of refreshment. This simple message resonated deeply with a population searching for little joys during difficult times. Coca-Cola wasn't just selling soda, it was selling a sense of happiness and relief that was accessible to everyone. The campaign utilized posters, magazine ads, and outdoor billboards to spread its message far and wide. Coca-Cola became a comforting presence in daily life, even for those who could afford little else. Coca-Cola's marketing brilliance lay in its ability to associate the brand with happiness and togetherness, even in challenging times. One of Coca-Cola's earliest successes in emotional branding was its association with Christmas, creating a timeless connection between the brand and festive joy. Coca-Cola's holiday ads during the 1940s didn't just sell a product, they reshaped cultural traditions by popularizing the modern image of Santa Claus. The brand became synonymous with the warmth and joy of Christmas. Decades later, Coca-Cola continued its legacy of emotional storytelling with the Share a Coke campaign, featuring personalized bottles with individual names, creating deeply meaningful connections with consumers worldwide. By addressing the challenges of the Great Depression with an emotionally resonant and culturally significant campaign, Coca-Cola turned a simple soda into a symbol of happiness, relaxation, and togetherness. The "Pause That Refreshes" wasn't just a slogan, it marked the transformation of Coca-Cola into a global cultural icon. Now, let's move to Nike, a brand that redefined sportswear with bold innovation and cultural impact. Let's explore how the Air Jordan phenomenon turned a struggling brand into a global powerhouse. In the late 1970s and early 1980s, Nike was battling to stay afloat in the fiercely competitive sportswear market. The company's challenges weren't minor, they were existential. Giants like Adidas and Puma dominated the sports industry, especially in basketball, where Nike had little to no presence. Adidas wasn't just a leader, it was a cultural icon, favored by athletes and fans alike. Nike's product, though functional, lacked the style and street credibility that Adidas had mastered. This made it nearly impossible for Nike to break into the basketball scene, a growing and highly influential market. While Nike had made some strides in running shoes, its lack of innovation and inability to connect with basketball enthusiasts left it struggling to differentiate itself. With dwindling market share and limited resources, Nike needed a bold move to survive. And to thrive, it needed to redefine its identity entirely. Amid this struggle, Nike identified an opportunity to change its fortunes by targeting the basketball world. The key to this strategy? Partnering with an emerging star who could embody their vision, Michael Jordan.
In the beginning, it could have been Adidas, not Nike.
You know what? The thing is, I never wore Nike shoes until I signed a Nike contract. Up to that point, my favorite shoe was an Adidas shoe, you know, and at the time that everybody was starting recruiting me about what shoes to wear, I was pro Adidas, you know, the whole time. And then once I went through the presentation with Nike, you know, they really made a grave effort of trying to, you know, have my input on the shoes, design any shoes that I wanted.
Jordan wasn't an easy cat. As a rookie in 1984, he was already leaning toward Adidas, his favorite brand growing up. Nike knew they couldn't rely on conventional endorsement deals to sway him. They took a highly personalized approach, offering Jordan something revolutionary, a shoe line built entirely around him. This wasn't just about sponsorship, it was about making Jordan the face of their basketball revolution. To sweeten the offer, Nike proposed a record-breaking $2.5 million contract over 5 years, along with royalties from sales, an unprecedented move in sports endorsements at the time. Nike also appealed to Jordan's family, particularly his mother, who encouraged him to at least hear them out. With her support, Jordan eventually agreed to the partnership, setting the stage for a game-changing collaboration. Nike wasted no time capitalizing on their partnership with Jordan, and the result was the iconic Air Jordan 1, launched in 1985. The NBA initially banned the Air Jordan 1 for violating uniform regulations, which could have been a setback. Instead, Nike turned it into a marketing masterstroke. Their ads proclaimed, "The NBA can't stop you from wearing them," transforming the shoes into a symbol of rebellion. This resonated strongly with young, aspiring athletes and sneaker enthusiasts, creating an instant cultural phenomenon. The Air Jordan wasn't just about performance, it was about identity. The bold design, combined with Jordan's on-court brilliance, made the shoes a must-have for anyone who wanted to stand out. Nike's partnership with Jordan didn't just solve their immediate problems, it laid the foundation for a long-term strategy that would revolutionize sports marketing. The Air Jordan line proved that endorsing athletes wasn't just about showcasing performance, it was about building a narrative that connected emotionally with consumers. This approach became the gold standard for sports brands, with Air Jordans now generating billions annually and remaining a cultural icon. Nike replicated this strategy globally. While Air Jordans transformed Nike's fortunes, the brand didn't stop there. In 1988, Nike launched the iconic Just Do It campaign, which further solidified its place as a global leader. The Just Do It slogan inspired millions worldwide to overcome challenges and chase their dreams, making it more than just a tagline. It became a personal mantra. This message perfectly complemented the Air Jordan ethos of ambition, resilience, and individuality, creating a unified brand identity. Nike's transformation wasn't just about marketing, it was about creating a movement. By identifying their challenges, taking calculated risks, and building an emotional connection with their audience, Nike turned Michael Jordan into a brand icon and Air Jordans into a cultural phenomenon. This wasn't merely a success story, it was a revolution that forever changed the sportswear industry. Just as Nike revolutionized sportswear, Apple shattered conventions in technology and advertising. Let's uncover how their iconic 1984 ad redefined marketing and innovation.
In 1977, Apple, a young, fledgling company on the West Coast, invents the Apple II, the first personal computer as we know it today. IBM dismisses the personal computer as too small to do serious computing and unimportant to their business. The early 80s. 81. Apple II has become the world's most popular computer, and Apple has grown to a $300 million company, becoming the fastest growing corporation in American business history.
By the early 1980s, Apple was a small but ambitious company trying to compete in a rapidly growing personal computer market. IBM dominated the computer industry, representing everything Apple wasn't: corporate, uniform, and deeply entrenched in business environments. Apple's products were innovative, but struggled to stand out against IBM's brand strength and massive market share. Apple needed a way to differentiate itself, not just as a company making computers, but as a brand that stood for something bigger: creativity, individuality, and rebellion against conformity. Without a bold move, Apple risked being overshadowed and forgotten in the shadow of giants like IBM. Apple's co-founder Steve Jobs recognized the need to redefine the company's narrative. The launch of the Apple Macintosh in 1984 presented the perfect opportunity to make a statement, and the 1984 ad became that statement.
IBM wants it all and is aiming its guns on its last obstacle to industry control: Apple. Will Big Blue dominate the entire computer industry? The entire information age? Was George Orwell right about 1984?
For the day we celebrate the first glorious anniversary of the information purification directives, we have created for the first time in all history a garden of pure ideology where each one may bloom, securing the essence of a contradictory thoughts. Our unification of thoughts is more powerful or than any fleet or army on earth. We are one people, with one will, one resolve, one cause. Our enemies shall walk ourselves to death, and we will bury them in their own religions. We shall prevail.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 will do like 1984.
Now you might wonder what's so special about this ad. Well, it didn't just sell a product, it redefined an entire era of marketing. Jobs collaborated with advertising agency Chiat Day to create a commercial that was as bold and innovative as the Macintosh itself. The ad, inspired by George Orwell's novel 1984, depicted a dystopian world ruled by Big Brother, symbolizing IBM, with a lone heroine representing Apple, smashing the oppressive system with a sledgehammer. Directed by Ridley Scott, the ad cost $1.5 million, a staggering amount for its time. The stakes were high. Failure would be disastrous for the Macintosh's launch and Apple's future. The ad aired only once, during the Super Bowl XVIII in January 1984, but it became a sensation, instantly positioning Apple as the rebel of the tech industry. The ad didn't just sell a product, it sold an idea: that Apple was a brand for thinkers, dreamers, and innovators who dared to challenge the norm. The ad broke away from traditional tech commercials, which focused on technical specifications. Instead, it evoked powerful emotions of liberation and individuality. Viewers didn't just see a computer, they saw a movement that resonated with their desire to break free from conformity. Apple positioned itself as the antithesis of IBM, appealing to creative individuals and independent thinkers. This identity would define Apple's marketing for decades to come. In conclusion, great brands are built on more than just products. They're built on moments that resonate deeply with people. Coca-Cola's Pause That Refreshes campaign showed how to turn adversity into opportunity through emotional branding. Nike's Air Jordan transformed a simple sneaker into a cultural phenomenon, while Apple's 1984 ad demonstrated the power of challenging conventions. These stories teach us the importance of connecting with audiences emotionally, innovating fearlessly, and tailoring strategies to the right moments and markets. Which of these brands inspires you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more business insights. Until next time, stay inspired and stay creative.